self-care. It just depends on the level of health and well-being that a person has. I think with the ILA, it would be important to make recommendations for the right type of artificial light sources, whether through the eyes or on the body. But then there's a time and a place that we all need professional healing, whether it's a doctor, whether it's an alternative medicine practitioner.
太陽が何よりものセラピストにまずなってくれるってことに気がついた。
She has found that the sun is the best therapist.
Every day-to-day self-care, things that each of us can do by exposing ourselves to the right amount of sunlight without creating danger for the eyes or the body. So that's the physical basis, that we need to have our body purified from the environmental toxins, the toxins in our air, our water, our food. It's the physical level. And of course, we need balanced nutrition for our biological needs, our constitution.
But I think it's very, very important to know that we are a part of a whole thing.
So any treatment that doesn't really address that is going to be an incomplete therapeutic approach.
Why I love using light is that I think light therapy, as a psychologist, it affects us physiologically. It changes when I put light in through the eyes. It changes my brain chemistry, changes my hormones. People would have spiritual experiences when they were looking at the light, doing talk therapy, talk psychology, talk psychotherapy. Suddenly a couple of my patients would go through these, what I would say, almost mystical, spiritual experiences. And the first time I saw that, I didn't know what to do. I was so incredulous, but I just sat back and allowed them to go through whatever they were experiencing in a safe and supported place in my office. I saw Jacob Lieberman in a town near where I was living in California at that time. And what I saw him sitting down with somebody, what I saw him do in 20 minutes of time working with colors that were evocative, I knew that if I was just talking to someone one-on-one without light, it would take me 6 months to get to the point he got in 20 minutes using light. So I said, I don't know how he did what he did, but I want to learn this. There was no system. It was very intuitive, and that's how Jacob worked as an optometrist. And then later, Steve Vasquez really sort of looked at it systematically. Try this color first, then depending on what's happening emotionally, use this color at this flash rate. And so a system gradually developed over time after, hundreds of people were seen in thousands of hours. So that's how I got into light.
The power of light, the power of color, the influence of all those things in our functioning. And I think to discover this is a great pleasure. And I'm always the one who's looking to apply it in, let's say, my business. Yeah, as a trainer, as a teacher, I'm looking for elements that can be applied for better learning, better teaching.
So I've been doing color therapy for 33 years, and I've been involved in the field of syntonics, which is the therapeutic application of colored frequencies into the eye, treating vision problems. Well, the way I work with light is we prescribe certain frequency, color combinations to treat various kinds of vision problems. And those range everything from problems that have to do with eye coordination, focusing, peripheral vision, depth perception, and problems that result from trauma, from brain injury.
光と色を使って基本的には心理カウンセリングに色と光を取り込みながらお話をして。
Well, the basic is psychology counseling using with light, color, and light.
when I attended the first ILA meetings that took place in the United States and in England, and then when that organization dissipated, there was an attempt to reformulate an International Light Association, and that's where it happened in Antwerp, and I was one of the founding members of that.
We can exchange lots of information, we can expand a lot of our views and sources of new knowledge. And it's been exactly that, actually. The ILA has been an extraordinary meeting point for the people around the planet working in this field, using light and colors for therapeutic purposes. And in that sense, it's been a very enriching experience, and it's still ongoing.
And I met Ernie Baker, who was the one who went all over the world to speak about light, and he was so fascinated about it, and he came to my office and he started speaking about light, influence of colored light and frequencies and so on. And I was fascinated, and I said, I want to know more about it. And from one came the other, and learned more people who are now members of the association.
So right now it's very exciting to learn to know the specialists in different applications of light and have contact with them, and also all the information that they gather, because there's so much research done, there's so much being applied right now, and predominantly many of our members are into some sort of medical applications, besides also the architecture.
And then there were just everyday people who were interested in light who we invited too, because we wanted to make it open to not just health professionals, but everybody should know about light and how to use light for health and healing. So there's a way that we can use light, I think, for everybody. Light by its very nature is democratic. It should be used by every level of society, and whether it's professionally or self-care.
It turns out that there are many different forms of light therapy and different ways of working with the light. And so it was important that all of the light workers gather together and form an organization that would educate people and also support the light workers.
You have Horus for Egyptian, son of Isis and Osiris. But the great god for the sun is actually, the sun disk is Ra. Ra represents the sun, while the bringer of the light is Horus. Horus is symbolized by a falcon, because such a falcon drops from very high where people cannot see, and drops in a speed of 350 kilometers an hour. This is the fastest moving animal on the planet. It symbolizes strongest what the light does coming from the sun to us. And in this is kind of like symbolic setting, what you would call then the light into our own body system. Horus is a symbol of all what it has to do with light, but also with sight, with vision. It has a whole measuring system within even the symbol of Horus. They have this nice created eye of Horus, which has all of this system in it, which is not linear. The similar structure you find in old Greek religion. The same kind of symbolism goes on in Apollo for the Roman, of course, but also for Christianity. You say, actually, the bringer, or the ones who became light for human being, was Jesus in Christianity. You see that throughout different cultures in the world. Even the eagle of United States, which is the only symbol they took from the Native Americans, with these arrows, with the holding. It's all